thank Lloyd Hinckley, who's been a member of the City Council 50 years ago, for inspiring this idea. Lloyd said, if this is something we believe in, maybe we should step out. Maybe we should be the ones to say, yeah, we believe in the arena. When my nieces and nephews come to town, we take our kids to the Capitol. We take them to games at Devaney Center. We've taken them to Pershing. We've taken our nieces and nephews and our kids to the Children's Museum. We've taken them shopping up and down North 27th and South 27th. We've taken them to Westfield. And we've taken them out to the ballpark. All of these projects were controversial. All of them required, at some point in time, public and private investment. And they were all vigorously debated by our community before they ever came. Throughout our community's history, Lincoln has been faced with making critical decisions about the worth of civic investment projects. These decisions haven't always been easy. But when we look back on many of them, we are grateful for the sacrifice that benefited future generations of Lincoln citizens. I am very proud to stand before you today with these people that showed up to discuss the excitement we as former City Council members feel about this. It'll be a positive impact on the Lincoln Haymarket Arena project. It is very telling that we have members standing up here spanning nearly 50 years of service that are united in support for this project. Its positive impact on our community cannot be underestimated. There are other retail and entertainment projects that have not yet been announced. But if the road system goes through for this arena, it will be possible for these new projects to come forward, make an announcement, and grow in and around the West Haymarket. I'm particularly excited about the ability of this arena to maintain important events and secure other important events that will bring a massive tourism to Lincoln. It will keep the high school state tournaments right here. It'll be home to Husker basketball and many other family and community events. Every dollar spent by a tourist in our town is newly found money. It is the purest form of economic development, and these dollars support sales tax revenues, which are the lifeblood of our city budget. Next.
I can well remember that argument relative to Pershing. And it was back and forth and began to wonder, where will it land? It finally did after a consensus occurred. But we all know that Pershing today is losing money. It's an obsolete facility. We are subsidizing the operation to the tune of $500,000 a year. I can remember it was maybe $100,000, but each year as it ages, it becomes older and older. It's imperative that if we're going to stay up with the times, that we keep Pershing online only in a new facility. The community has gathered together many times to support a facility of that nature. As I stated before, however, we're fortunate indeed today to have a city council and a mayor that are trying to support a total community. Organizations and individuals across our community have come together in support of the construction of the arena. This is a sign of the city starting to grow together rather than growing apart. In my opinion, one of our biggest problems that we've wrestled with in the last 10 to 15 years is a community that has developed factions that could not agree. That is now starting to become a much better problem. I think anyone can argue that this group represents a good cross-section of fiscal conservatives. Conservative, I say with some pride. That's looking at to me, a conservative in an elected position is one that's looking after the taxpayer's dollar. I think we've all come to agree that this is the best use of the taxpayer's dollar. We have made in our community and are comfortable with a finance plan that doesn't depend on property tax to pay for the project. If there's going to be any relief for property tax, it has to be grown the sales tax. I can't identify any other solution to give relief to property tax. Now, we talked about the glass half full, let's talk about the glass half empty. I did not see the critics or the opposition stepping forward with time, money, solutions, other than complaining about a declining city. If you're gonna grow, if you stop growing, you start dying. Most of these critics are similar to those that opposed the street bond issue a few years back. If we had made and approved that investment today, we would not be playing dodge the potholes. We would not be spending money on temporary solutions. We would have invested the money in some long-term permanent solutions that would have been a tremendous investment. With that, I thank you. And the next one up is the Mayor of Howard.
That might come as a shock to them, Joe. First, let me say thanks to the media for coming this morning, but I have to tell you, it's an absolute honor for me to stand up here with so many of the people that I hate to say I grew up watching. I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry, Lloyd, I didn't mean it that way. Maybe I should have said I matured watching, but these, yeah, exactly. These are all people who have scars from being on the council on some of the battles, but they're the reason that Lincoln is at the place that it is today. And so I think in some ways it's important that when you see Colleen and Joe Hampton and some of the people like that, Lloyd, up here, that you respect their opinion and understand that we're where we are today largely because of what they've done. We have an opportunity to invest in our community and build the Lincoln Haymarket Arena. Though these tough times mean that we need to do everything we can to keep and create good paying jobs. While we continue to build a bright future in our community, and this plan does just that. The population of Lincoln has increased dramatically since the time prison was built, so we're moving forward with this facility will make it possible to actually accommodate the events for which we don't currently have the space or the scheduling opportunity. I've described this vote as the most important decision Lincoln will make in the next 20 years, and I know there are some people who said that's hyperbole. But I think this really is important on a lot of levels, because I think this is a time where Lincoln has to say we're willing to move forward or we're going to be willing to move backwards. I think Lincoln in some ways should be thinking about when the Omaha World Herald writes an editorial and calls Lincoln a status quo city. I think when the outside looks at us and says that, then we have to look inside and say, maybe we need to move forward here. We're either going to move forward or we're going to move backwards. As former and current members of Lincoln City Council, we feel that this is a critical decision for our community. We wanted to come together today to demonstrate the unity that is being shown across Lincoln to support the proposed investment in the Lincoln Haymarket Arena. And we just urge people to get educated and then come to the polls and vote. Let's make a decision that we're going to move Lincoln forward.
You can feel free to ask us questions as a group, or if you want to break up and ask us questions individually, you can do that. Thank you for coming.
That says it all.